Everybody get up, everybody stand up. Come on, get up, get up, get up, get up. We're going to do this a few more times here this afternoon. This is a premier template-bodied crate motor tour in the country. This is the JEG CRA All Stars Tour presented by Chevrolet Performance. This afternoon, we are running the Chevrolet Performance 100 presented by Advanced Racing Suspension. The next to the last race of the 2014 racing season for the JEG CRA All Stars Tour presented by Chevrolet Performance. We mentioned Dan Leake can put himself in prime position for the 2014 championship in just a couple weeks over at Winchester Speedway. He's got to hold off the advances of the 15-year-old rookie from Harrison, Michigan, the 28 of Grant Quinlan. Josh Nelms still in that title hunt as well. That LisaThomasSalon.com Ford. As this time by, Chief Starter Brian Duncan gives them the 1 lap to go signal. We are going green. The next time around 29 cars, 100 laps for the JEG CRA All Stars Tour presented by Chevrolet Performance. Coughlin Cars pace car to pull into the infield on the pit road. It's in the hands of the 31-year-old racing promoter, the general manager and promoter of Berlin Raceway, Mike Bursley, starting P1 alongside Germantown, Ohio's Kyle Jones in the 21 machine. Bursley and Jones lead him into 3 and 4.
Picking up the pace as they get to the middle of 3 and 4. Now the pace improves even more as they get to the line in turn 4. The green flag is waving on the Chevrolet Performance. That 20 car, not Campbell, of course. That's Mike Bursley. It's an easy mistake to make. The team cars here this weekend, both very good in their respective divisions. It's going to be Kyle Jones in the 21 going into the lead.
And here comes All-Star Performance fast qualifier John Hunter Nemechek making it 3 wide, coming out of turn number 2. Leader of lap 1 is Kyle Jones.
We got trouble. Hard crash into the wall. Kyle Jones, as cars will try to avoid. Also, another one piles in a big-time crash in turn number 1. Tristan Van Wieringen, Kyle Jones as the cars stacked up heading into that first corner.
And also involved the 16-year-old from Amherstburg, Ontario, Canada, Tristan Van Wieringen, involved over in turn number 1. Hard contact with the turns 1 wall. Kyle Jones was the leader of that very first lap, but unfortunately him and Van Wieringen done over in turn 1. So we get ready to go back to green after a little bit of a delay. Coughlin Cars pace car pulls onto pit road. It's in the hands of John Hunter Nemechek in the 8. Mike Bursley in the number 20 machine leads him on a 3 and 4. Nemechek, Jackrabbit start on a 4. Green flag is out. We're back underway.
Nemechek back on the 28 car. Quickly moving into second. Finley going to the bottom lane. He gets around Deucer. On the move, Josh Nelms in the 0, up into the top 5 for the lot toward Illinois driver, Josh Nelms.
Dan Leake moved his way up to the 4th spot. The number 12 machine, your current points leader. Now on the back bumper of Mike Bursley, John Hunter Nemechek. Official lane change that time. John Hunter Nemechek, official leader on lap number 2.
Nemechek and Quinlan pulling away from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and right now 5th and 6th in the battle. It's the 42 of Finley. He started this race in 5th, but he wasn't able to find the openings that Nemechek used on that first lap.
Nemechek is your leader, but Grant Quinlan is not letting Nemechek get away as Quinlan Goes to the back bumper. Your Boy Machine Company fast qualifier. 17-year-old Nemechek, your leader. 15-year-old Quinlan in second.
And Jeff Cannon, who we've seen run well here in the past, the 33 on the move inside lane. Jeff Cannon started 9th. And he's battling right now on the inside of Corey Deucer and Chad Pendleton. The starts from Ohio running the high lane as well.
Towards the front, Mike Bursley, your pole setter, is third. Your current points leader, Dan Leake, in fourth spot. The number 12 machine, Chad Finley, rounding out the top 5. Josh Nelm, 6. Battle for 7 continues. Corey Deucer in the 71. Jeff Cannon, the 33. Chad Pendleton is right there in the 22. He is at 9. Travis Addy, the 78, rounding out the top 10.
We are now single file till you get really deep in the field. That's where Jeff Lane in the 7 car battles the inside of Jackson Jacobs. Way back in the field over final 5 or 6 spots.
Up front it is John Hunter Nemechek showing the way. He gets away from Greg Quinlan 4 down very early in the Chevrolet Performance 100 presented by Advanced Racing Suspension. This time by will be 7 laps completed. 93 laps to go as John Hunter Nemechek crosses the start-finish line. Quinlan is second, Bursley third, League 4, Finley fifth.
3-car breakaway, and you see the Bursley car, the number 20, despite dropping back into the 3rd spot, maybe just running his own little race right now, biding his time. Car is closing on the 28 of Quinlan in turns 3 and 4. Bursley looking strong now in the 3rd spot.
Trying to make it a 4-car battle for the lead. They head down the backstretch. Chad Finley rounding at the top 5. The battle for 6 continues. The 0, Josh Nelm, 71, Corey Deucer.
Josh Cave with problems in the 2. He's going to take the low way around the racetrack down through 1 and 2. Got some heavy smoke coming out of that ride on the right front of the number 2. Josh Cave started this race in 23rd out of Brownsburg, Indiana. He might just turn left middle of the backstretch to get to the infield. And up front, battle starts to brew. Top 3, basically bumper to bumper.
This time by 10 laps completed, 90 laps to go. John Hunter Nemechek continues to lead in the number 8 machine. The 28, Greg Quinlan is second. The 20, Mike Bursley is third. 12 of Dan Leake is fourth. 42, Chad Finley is fifth. Battle continues for 6 now. The 0, Josh Nelm, 71 of Corey Deucer, with the 33 of Jeff Cannon and the 22 Chad Pendleton right there.
It's going to really heat up. Nelms actually started this race in 11th, made some big moves over the first 9 or 10 laps, and now he finds himself with all kinds of heat applied to him from the 71 of Deucer. Again, the 33 of Cannon and 22 of Pendleton. They're ready to move forward.
In the top 10, the 78 of Travis Addy right behind him. Rookie competitor Dalton Armstrong in the number 4 machine. Bill Burba right there as well in the 26. But up front, 12 laps completed. John Hunter Nemechek with just a couple car lengths now on Grant Quinlan with Mike Bursley right there.
Let's talk about Grant Quinlan. I haven't had a chance to see him race a whole lot, but I've seen his name a lot over the last couple of months. Grant Quinlan's really put some excellent rides together with his 28 car.
He's having a banner rookie season in the JEG CRA All Stars Tour. 2 event wins, one of them coming at the famed High Banks, the Salem Speedway back on June 21st. He was a winner a week ago yesterday down up at Springport Motor Speedway in Springport, Michigan. First rookie competitor in JEG CRA All Stars Tour brief history to win more than one event. Running for Brent Downey Racing from just over here in Brownsburg. And Quinlan, a solid run so far in second here at Lucas Oil Raceway.
Where does racing career start?
Greg Quinlan, the 2013 Michigan Legend Series champion before Legends, was running Bandoleros as well as quarter midget ranks. Quinlan, his first time ever in a late model, was May 4th, the 2014 season opener of the JEG CRA All Stars Tour.
Did not take him long to get used to driving that number 28, but right now pressure being applied for that second position. Mike Bursley in the 20 looking low in 1 and 2. When you look back a few more spots, still inside our top 10, just out of the top 5. You got Nelms, you got the 33 of Cannon, Deucer, and Pendleton still stacking things up a bit.
And up front it is John Hunter Nemechek continuing to lead. The number 8 machine battle continues on for second. Mike Bursley taking a beat to the inside of Quinlan. They go into on turns 1 and 2. Bursley will clear him. Coming out of turn number 2. Gives second spot to the Holland, Michigan driver.
And there I see some experience start to show through from the 28 of Quinlan. Kind of checked up, let him go. Said, I'm not as quick as him at this point in the race. Don't want to push it. Don't want to take a chance to get in a crash on lap 15 or 16. Let him go down in turn 2. Quinlan drops in line in third.
And Bursley reeling in. John Hernimacek, that marine machine. Bursley, the owner promoter of Berlin Raceway up in Northern Michigan near Grand Rapids. Starting to close the gap on your race leader, John Hernimacek, as they go into 3 and 4. The back of the lead pack just in front of the leaders.
Bursley definitely looks strong. We have some racing action going on mid-pack right now as Bill Burba, the 26, races with Travis Zenny in the 78. Burba running the low lane. Looking back a little further, we see the 28 of Jack Smith with the sheet metal all crinkled up along the side.
One driver that's on the move is the 15 of Trey Craig. He is battling with Cody Evans. He'll pass Evans. That's for the 13th spot. Craig just got done with the late model sportsman race. Up to 13th. He started 28th.
Had all kinds of problems trying to qualify that car yesterday. It shut off a couple of times. It only gave him a one-lap attempt at qualifying. Then it shut off during that one lap, so he had to start at the tail of this race. But Trey Craig's got it figured out mechanically. And right around the 1/5 mark of the event, the 15 of Craig still moving forward.
20 laps completed, 80 laps to go. The field, the leaders now in traffic. It's the 8 of John Hernimacek and the 20 of Mike Bursley. Get by the 56 of Nicky Saxon, as well as the orange 7 of Kevin Willis. Bursley closing the gap on Nemechek as they come on turn 4.
The duo have built up a pretty solid advantage over the third-place car of Quinlan, and Quinlan nearly got him the wall as he closed things up on the Willis machine. We'll go to the inside, heading to turn 3. Quinlan running by himself in third. Good run right now for the number 12, a point leader, Dan Lee, looking for his first championship with the series. He's running forward.
Just in front of him, after he gets by the 7 of Kevin Willis, is the driver currently second overall in the points. The 28 of Grant Quinlan. Quinlan is the Memorial Rookie Points leader. Still has a mathematical chance at catching Dan Lee. The best he can do is just stay in front of that number 12.
Chad Finley, who qualified second for this race, started in our top 5. He's made his way to the pits. Finley was running 5th last time by the line, and Chad Finley has taken his ride to pit road. He's got another chance later today in the Super Series event, but he pulls into his pit stall problems for the Chad Finley machine.
Tough break for the DeWitt, Michigan driver. As we search around the racetrack, we find John Hernimacek and Mike Bursley. Nose to tail, Nemechek with a good, strong run off of turn number 2. Tries to get away from the 20 of Bursley. Quinlan way back in the 3rd spot, losing lots of real estate to your 2 race leaders. We are a quarter of the way through the Chevrolet Performance 100 presented by Advanced Racing Suspension. 25 and 75 to go.
Well, at this point in the race, it looks like we've got 2 outstanding cars. The one, the 8 car of Nemechek, and the other, the 20 of Bursley. I think they are the class of the field right now. Don't see a whole lot of others threatening to make big moves. We do see some action going on in turn number 2 as Armstrong picks up a spot. Here comes Hunter Bays in the 13. Bays moving forward as he finds himself in 8th, and he's picking up more spots as we speak.
A big jumble right there from about 5th on back, excuse me. Dalton Armstrong, that is for the 6th spot. Hunter Bays in the 13, started 21st. He is up to 6th. Dalton Armstrong 7th. Josh Jefferson back to 8th. Chad Pendleton's at 9th. Cody Evans now 10th. He started 20th.
And I think Bays may have one of the fastest cars on the track. We'll kind of keep our eyes on him as he comes by the line. Hunter Bays in the 24-2 lap that time, and that is one of the fastest laps on the track, and he was working a little bit of traffic that previous circuit. Armstrong staying with it. 2 drivers, young, both heading into turn 3 right now, and a battle just out of the top 5.
Your leaders still going through some traffic, about to approach some more cars in the back of the lead lap. The 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, the 20 of Mike Bursley. They still run 1 and 2. Bursley not letting Nemechek stray too far out in front as the traffic approaches.
29 laps complete. Going to see 30 go on the board the next time around for John Hunter Nemechek. You know, he's let Bursley close in to within a few car lengths, and then he kind of extended his lead again. Might just be using enough to keep a little bit of a gap, and that might be it. Or is maybe Bursley holding a little bit back at this point? Still so early in the event.
Very early in this event. 30 laps completed, 70 laps to go. As we mentioned, more traffic in front of Nemechek and Bursley, beginning with the white number 4, Joe Morissette Jr. Just in front of Morissette is Jackson Jacobs with the 97. In front of Jacobs, 2005 ARCA CRA Super Series champion and 2011 CRA Street Stock Series champion, Jeff Lane. That's a nice South Indiana driver, ironically making his first ever start in the JEG CRA All Stars Tour.
And we've seen him run everything. We've seen him run Super Series, late model sportsman, street stocks, modifieds, and hard to believe that it is his first JEG Series start this weekend, driving the Jeff Miller machine. And on pit road, point leader Dan Leake. Dan Leake, the point leader, has made his way to the pits.
Tough break for the Mr. Asphalt Chevrolet. Dan Leake, your points leader on pit road under green. And the crew going right under the hood. That could spell disaster for the Birch Run, Michigan driver. But that opens the door wide for Grant Quinlan in the number 28 machine.
And that's why when you see him make a move like he did earlier in this race, and he kind of moved over for now second place competitor Bursley, when he made his move by, you think, you know what? He's just kind of running his own race, doesn't want to get involved in anything. Might really pay off if he's able to bring home a top 5 run today.
And the crew watching this on pit road the most, check out the Downey Racing crew. They're parked right next to Dan Leake, all of them looking at the number 12 machine, seeing what's going on, letting their driver know, hey, the points leader is on pit road. Keep it cool around this racetrack.
Battle between a couple of the 4 cars in our top 10 right now is Armstrong in the 4 and Evans in the 4G. How about Cody Evans, qualifying 20th? He's battling up near the 6th position now. We know that car is fast. We saw somebody else jump in it during practice yesterday. Turned a wicked quick lap. He didn't qualify so well, Evans didn't, but he's trying to back it up with a much better run in the race, and so far so good for Cody Evans.
Back towards the front, John Hunter Nemechek, your race leader, has put some distance now between himself and the number 20 of Mike Bursley. Cole Rouse came down pit road several laps ago. As they're going to look to take the car to behind pit wall, it appears, as Cole Rouse standing right there on pit road. We saw the car move away.
So Cole Rouse done for the day with the damage to the right side of that machine. Past the 1/3 mark of the race, laps continue to click off for this Chevrolet Performance 100 presented by Advanced Racing Suspension of Lucasville Raceway. The 6th visit for the JEG CRA All Stars Tour presented by Chevrolet Performance, and right now continuing to set the tempo is John Hunter Nemechek. He's going to work into some pretty heavy traffic in about 5 to 10 laps. Catches some pretty good race cars, some of those in that line in the top 10.
Without a doubt, looking back through the field, the driver that's on the move came from the rear of the field after that lap 1 red flag. Jack Smith in the 128 machine started shotgun. He is now 10th behind the 0 of Josh Nelms, who was at 9th.
Seen a lot of movers in this race from deep in the pack toward the front, so it wasn't necessarily this weekend about where you qualified. It looks like we're going to see a lot of big pickups and hard charger type races for competitors that started deep in the pack. So a pretty big wiggle down in 3 and 4 from Chad Pendleton. He's racing right behind the 4 of Armstrong. Pendleton currently in the 8th position. He was able to keep it off the wall though.
The black 7 of Kyle Crump pulls down pit road. That's his 2nd time. Right next to him, Chad Finley already out of the car as a field looking at the rear end of that machine. Tough break for both cars. Travis Eddy coming down pit road, the number 78 machine. He was running in the top 10. During this event, tough break for the Beaverton, Michigan driver, son of 7-time ASA national champion Mike Eddy.
this race in long green flag conditions here. Seeing a couple of close calls. Dan Leak back out in the 12, riding around the bottom of the racetrack as cars rocket by him. I heard one time entering the first corner, a few laps before Dan Leak pulled in, a big backfire. Kind of took a look to make sure he was still up to speed. It seemed like it was running okay at that point, but there was probably a sign of the first issue there for Dan Leak, who is back out and it seems to be up to speed. Watching coming off of 4 now, we've got the 4G of Evans in a battle for the 5th position. He and Hunter Bays both making a lot of passes in this race to get up in the top 5. And right now Evans has it, picks up his 15th position of the event.
Evans now 5th, Hunter Bays is 6th, the 4th, Dalton Armstrong is 7th, the 22, Chad Pendleton 8th. Jack Smith now to 9th. He got by Josh Nelms, putting him into 10th position. Roll back towards the front. The same story. John Hunter Nemechek. Your leader, Mike Bursley, right there in 2nd spot. He's gained some real estate once again on the number 8 of Nemechek. As they get to the 26 of Bill Burba. Burba unofficially 14th on the racetrack. 14 cars on the lead lap as nice long green flag run here for the JEG CRA All Stars Tour.
Burba is the 14th and final car on the lead lap, as you mentioned, but maybe not as right now. John Hunter Nemechek in the 8th is running them down. Dakota Jackson right in front of Bill Burba. 13th and 14th on the racetrack. Kind of in a battle between themselves. And John Hunter Nemechek and Mike Bursley within a few car lengths.
Nemechek about to approach the back bumper of the 26 of Bill Burba, just in front of Burba. This is the number 3, Dakota Jackson. Jackson, the Elizabethtown, Indiana teenager, making his 2nd ever start behind the wheel of a late model, a regular competitor with the USAC Sprint Car Series on the dirt without the wings. And Jackson doing pretty good so far in that number 3 machine.
One thing that's fun to watch sometimes is Jeff Lane search for lanes. We're going to see him in the street stock race later where he was extremely quick in qualifying and out-qualified the rest of the field by a large margin. And I saw Lane down on the apron the last time around. He's up in the middle of the track as he kind of searches for the quickest way around Lucas Oil this afternoon.
Approaching halfway in the Chevrolet Performance 100 presented by Advanced Racing Suspension. 48 laps completed, 52 laps to go. John Hunter Nemechek took the lead on lap 2. He's led ever since the number 8 machine. Mike Bursley is 2nd. Number 20 go all the way back. Number 28 of Grant Quinlan. 3rd spot now. 4th spot go back all the way to the 33 of Jeff Cannon, who's just now going down the back stretch as your leader. John Hunter Nemechek crossed the start-finish line.
This race stays green till the end. Nemechek's going to put a lot of drivers down the lap. There might only be a couple on the lead lap at the end, as Nemechek and Bursley have separated themselves by a large margin, and it's going to be 50 laps in, 50 laps to go. The Chevrolet Performance 100 presented by Advanced Racing Suspension, and John Hunter Nemechek still leads the way.
The 20 of Mike Bursley is 2nd, as we mentioned. The 28 Grant Quinlan is 3rd. 33 of Jeff Cannon is in the 4th spot. Just now across the start-finish line. 5th spot belongs to the number 4 of Cody Evans. 6th is the 13 of Hunter Bays. 7th spot, the black and white number 4 of Dalton Armstrong. 8th spot now, the 128 of Jack Smith. 9th to 22 of Chad Pendleton to 0. Josh Nelms rounding out the top 10. And you got the 71 of Corey User 11th. The 15 of Trey Craig is in 12th. Those are the 12 cars remaining on the lead lap.
Not so sure that Nelms, Deucer, and Craig are going to want to move over when Nemechek catches them. They're on the tail end of the lead lap. Got them going 3 wide as they go around the Saxon car on the front stretch. And could get a little dicey with Nemechek catching a few cars, battling just out of the top 10 for position.
Halfway now, we'll make it 52 laps completed. The 3 we were just talking about, Dakota Jackson. Jackson off the pace, going down the backstretch. Tough break. The 17-year-old from Elizabethtown, Indiana, Dakota Jackson, the number 3. He'll pull on the pit road.
And just went a lap down moments ago, was running around the 13th position before having issues, heading pit side. You know who's running extremely well right now despite the damage is Jack Smith. He finds himself in the 8th position. Jack Smith came all the way from the back of the field, got caught up. Right side of the car ripped off in the crash that occurred in turn 1 with Jones and Van Wieringen, and Jack Smith's car is running pretty well.
He's running the 8th spot, challenging the 4 of Dalton Armstrong. 4-7 as they come on to turn number 4. Smith right on the back bumper, minus that right front fender. Dive bombs into turn 1 and 2. Completes the pass. Gives 7th spot to the Ohio veteran.
It looked like he was going to pull off the slide job on the 4 of Armstrong. I think Armstrong checked up and said, I'll let you have this spot. You already don't have a right side on that car. You're not worried about tearing it up. And he gave him the room. And actually, Jack didn't go up in front of him right away either. So there would have been room between the two. But Jack Smith up into the 7th spot. And that will help him separate himself a little bit as Nemechek catches some more lead lap cars. Right now, working on the 15 of Trey Craig. And the 71 of Corey Deucer. So Nelm's down a lap and now working into the top 10 and lapping the 10th place car of Deucer in 3 and 4.
John Hunter Nemechek has put all of the top 9 down a lap. A strong performance so far for the Mooresville, North Carolina driver, the Nemco Motorsports Alfaro Guatemala Chevrolet. Nemechek now also putting a lot of distance between himself and 2nd place driver, the 20 of Mike Bursley.
You know, we've seen Nemechek run here in the past and be very, very strong. And today, he's been outstanding in this JEG CRA All Stars Tour event. And this is his biggest lead he's had so far. It's nary in that straightaway. He's been able to work through the traffic cleanly. And he's been able to get around a couple of drivers that were at the tail end of the top 10. It will continue. Chad Pendleton will be up next. He's in 9th. Pendleton having a very nice run today for this JEG CRA All Stars Tour event at Lucas Oil.
And Dan Leake, the points leader, already several laps down, has pulled his way back onto pit road. Tough break for the Birch Run, Michigan driver. Leake was already well off the pace. Matter of fact, he was about over 10 laps down. And now he's back on pit road, and that Mr. Asphalt team, crew chief Neil May, calling the shots on top of the pit box, orders the hood off the number 12.
Right now finds himself in 22nd, and his closest point challenger, Grant Quinlan, still running 3rd. So that crew, you hate to see anyone have bad luck, but that team and crew kind of hoping that Quinlan has some bad luck because they're going to have that big points lead evaporate here today.
Without a doubt, as Dan Leake still on pit road as the leaders continue to work their way through traffic. 61 laps completed this time by John Hunter Nemechek. Has lapped up to 9th place, but he has not caught the 22 of Chad Pendleton. The next car to potentially go a lap down in 9th. Trey Craig has got by both Josh Nelms and Corey Deucer. Craig in the top 10. He started 28th. And Mike Bursley now just getting to the traffic that Nemechek just left behind.
And Trey Craig, once the 8 of Nemechek got around him, he stepped it up. He's following in the tire tracks of Nemechek, running that number 15 car extremely hard. And if he can stay with Nemechek, he'll pick up a few more spots. When Nemechek passes him to lap him, he's got a chance to get by him.
Mike Bursley all by himself in 2nd spot between some lap cars. Go back to the 28 of Grant Quinlan, who's in 3rd. Jeff Cannon just going into turns 3 and 4. He's running in the 4th spot. Go all the way back to Cody Evans, who is in 5th, with Hunter Bays right behind him in 6th and the 13. Jack Smith in 7th and the number 128. Dan Leake has come back on the racetrack at number 12, trying to pick up those valuable points going into the last race of Winchester in a couple weeks.
Cars really stacking up in front of the leader, John Hunter Nemechek. His lead is at half a straightaway, so he can be patient. But he has Willis, he has Pendleton, he has the 8 of Jacobs. Everybody really tight in front of him. And Trey Craig again closes that gap, and he's thinking about threading the needle. Maybe not the move to make quite yet. Bursley still a good ways back.
Nemechek mired in a plethora of traffic as they go into turns 1 and 2. Trey Craig actually looking to try to make the pass, try to get his lap back on Nemechek. But now Nemechek regroups. He gets back by the 7 of Kevin Willis as Willis goes to the wall. Craig and Willis get together, and Willis mired up in the turn 3 wall. Caution flag will fly.
So Willis in the 7 running in that pack of cars that looked like an accident waiting to happen, and that's sure enough what happened on the backstretch. And you can see it opened up the gate on the back straightaway. When the crash occurred, if you look to the backstretch, the gate popped open whenever the wreck took place as the 7 of Willis slammed into the gate on the backstretch, and hopefully the damage to the gate not all that bad already with the delay we had in turn number 1. But we've got 64 complete, and now we're going to have some interesting racing coming up with the 8 of Nemechek having Bursley back with him, as he was able to build up a nice lead over Bursley, working the lap traffic, and we saw him working into the top 10, and I think Pendleton was next to go down a lap, and he was running 9th.
It's in the hands of John Hunter Nemechek a little over an hour later after the last yellow and subsequent red flag.
Coming to green off of turn 4, Nemechek picks up the place. Bursley in the 20 didn't go right away, and that's going to cost him a spot at least as he falls back into 3rd, but we are underway. 75 laps in the books, 25 to go, to be 24 to go next time around, and that's a big break for John Hunter Nemechek because Bursley was his caution coming back out. So they will restart it, not liking that start. They're going to restart it.
So try one more time. John Hunter Nemechek took the lead on lap number 2 after the first red flag of the afternoon. He has led ever since. Mike Bursley, your pole sitter, has stayed at or around 2nd the whole race.
You know, amazingly, we've had the long delays, and these cars and drivers have been on the track for a long time, but honestly, not a caution-plagued event. Just unfortunately, when we've had one, it's been a pretty bad one that's cost us a lot of time in track repair here today. And right now, ready to go for these final 25 for the 8 of Nemechek, the 20 of Bursley, bringing it to 3 and 4, and the green flag is out.
And Nemechek again with a strong start. Jeff Cannon on the high side in that coveted 4th starting spot on that last restart, trying to work the high side of Mike Bursley. 2nd spot. Grant Quinlan shuffled back to 4th. Hunter Bays gets by Cody Evans. He's in 5th. Cannon and Bursley side by side for 2nd. This time by 76 and 24 to go.
Jack Smith uses the bumper. He moves by Cody Evans in the 4G. Jack Smith picks up yet another spot, and he's up to 6. Smith having an outstanding run despite the right side of that car ripped off earlier.
Cannon trying to stay ahead of Bursley. He'll finally clear Bursley going into turns 3 and 4. Grant Quinlan right there as well, in addition to Hunter Bays. But John Hunter Nemechek checking out of that number 8 machine. He'll head to 1 and 2.
And now it's Bursley's turn to start racing. It is for the 2nd spot. Bursley restarted inside of Nemechek, fell back into 3rd, but now he races for the number 2 position inside of Cannon, down through 3, heading into 4, wheel to wheel for the number 2 spot.
Bursley trying to reclaim the runner-up spot. The Berlin Raceway promoter battling with 2014 Indiana Motor Speedway Super Late Model champion Jeff Cannon. Cannon making that high side work, but Bursley is right there. The number 20, the 28, Grant Quinlan also there, trying to figure out which way to go.
Quinlan running strong as well in the 4th position. He's looking to the inside, then goes back to the high lane on the front straightaway. Bursley going to drive it in a little deeper this time, nearly rubbing some pain with a 33 of Cannon. Gets a good run off of turn 2. Bursley inching forward, but yet to clear the 33 of Cannon.
They still battle side by side for the 2nd spot. Bursley with a nose ahead of Cannon coming out of turn number 4. This time by 80 in, 20 to go. Bursley at the line, barely over Cannon for 2nd spot. He'll head into turns 1 and 2. One more time. Jack Smith to the inside of Hunter Bays for 5th.
He continues to go forward. Jack Smith after the pit stop and a lot of repair work on the right side of that car during a red flag earlier in this race. Right now going for the number 5 position with Hunter Bays.
Good battle for 5th between Bays and Smith. Go back to the battle for 7th. Chad Pendleton to the inside of Dalton Armstrong. That is for 7th spot. Pendleton Columbus Motor Speedway track champion, 2004 NASCAR Whelen All-American Series Ohio State champion, battling with Hollywood Memorial rookie contender Dalton Armstrong in the 4.
Remember, Pendleton was about to go a lap down before the recent caution, but he was able to get away from the leader before the caution came out, so Pendleton remained on the lead lap. He runs in 8th. Evans running 9th, and Trey Craig running in the 10th spot. Final car on the lead lap, the 15 of Trey Craig.
But up front, John Hunter Nemechek continuing to show the way. Mike Bursley's finally disposed of Jeff Cannon, gets away from Cannon. Now going to try to reel in the 17-year-old from Mooresville, North Carolina. Nemechek, your leader. Bursley second. Battle brewing for third between Cannon and Quinlan.
Cannon and Quinlan, then a 2-car battle between Smith and Bays, and also another battle going on in our top 10. The 22 of Pendleton and the 4 of Armstrong. A lot of good races in our top 10 spots for position. And Jack Smith moves up, and he closes the door on Bays.
Jack Smith from the rear of the field after the first red flag of the afternoon has climbed his way into the top 5 for the first time this afternoon. Hunter Bays, though, not giving up. He'll tag the back bumper, the 128 of Smith. They go into 3 and 4. Up front, Nemechek, your leader, 15 to go.
Final 15 circuits for the 8-car of John Hunter Nemechek, and his lead comfortable, but not out of range for the 20 of Mike Bursley. Bursley running well and running a different lane, in fact, than the 8 of Nemechek, as Bursley takes a low entry, then kind of keeps it a little bit lower, about a whole groove lower than the 8 of Nemechek does throughout the turns. And that time by the line, Nemechek was 0.2 quicker than Mike Bursley.
Jeff Cannon trying to hold off the advances of the 28 of Grant Quinlan. Couple car lengths ahead of the 15-year-old as they go into turns 3 and 4. This time by 87 laps completed, 13 to go for John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek with 2 victories already this season, both of those coming in non-points events. If he were to hang on, this will be his first points-paying race of the 2014 season.
Yeah, that lead continues to grow for John Hunter Nemechek. Another 2/10, almost 3/10 quicker last time by. I think Bursley trying everything he can to close the gap, but Nemechek has stepped it up. Just about a half-second difference on that time by, so that lead going to continue to grow for John Hunter Nemechek. This race stays green. I think he's in great shape, and I think I'll still be the owner of the farm.
Without a doubt, Adam, 89 in this time by. 11 laps to go for the 17-year-old from Mooresville, North Carolina. Part-time competitor this season, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. John Hunter Nemechek showing the way. Mike Bursley second to number 20. Battle continues for third between the 33 of Jeff Cannon, the 28 of Grant Quinlan.
And again, even if Quinlan finishes in 4th, that's still a great points day. The only driver ahead of him in the series standings, Dan Leake, finds himself in 20th position. He's still on the track logging laps, but Dan Leake kind of running 10 laps ahead of his closest challenger, Kevin Willis, who's done for the day. He's 10 laps, 12 laps behind Nicky Saxon, who's a spot ahead of him.
Lead continues to build for John Hunter Nemechek. We got trouble over turns 1 and 2. Kevin Zielasinski up against the wall. Caution flag will fly.
So Zielasinski with the mishap in turns 1 and 2. The Manhattan, Illinois driver bringing out the caution. 91 laps on the scoreboard right now, and we've got caution for a mishap that's going to tighten this field again, and it's going to give Jack Smith and the 128 car a chance to pick up maybe a couple more spots. He continues to work forward, finds himself in our top 5 in the 5th position, and just make things a little interesting for John Hunter Nemechek, who's by far the fastest car on the track. But anything can happen on those restarts, as we found out earlier.
About 3 more laps, he will not, scoring-wise, be able to pass any more cars as far as those out of the event. So Dan Leake looking at a 20th place finish in that Mr. Asphalt Chevrolet in just 3 more laps. He won't be able to pass any more cars.
No, he's already 12 laps down, or 12 laps down to the car in front of him which is Nikki Saxon. She's completed 87 laps. He's completed 75. So right now he's pretty much locked into where he is, but he doesn't want to lose any more spots, and that's why he's going to continue to run. 10 laps to go. Good restart for John Hunter Nemechek. Scary moment for Jeff Cannon in the 33 as he darted to the inside, able to keep going, and Grant Quinlan for a moment went to the outside of Bursley. Bursley able to stay with Nemechek this time.
And Quinlan got the third spot by Cannon. Hunter Bays the fifth, gets by Jack Smith. Trey Craig to the inside of Dalton Armstrong. That is for seventh. Trey Craig advancing 21 positions, and he's not done yet. He'll go over Jack Smith.
Inside of Jack Smith, heading into turn 1 and 2, and around goes Bursley. Bursley around, look out, Burba gets into the wall, spinning around. Backing into Jacobs was the 56 of Nikki Saxon. Caution out as Bursley spins while running second.
Tough break for Mike Bursley, the Boyd Machine Company Ford from Holland, Michigan. Running in a second spot, loops it around, coming out of turn number 2. Nikki Saxon spins to avoid some damage to the IUPUI Motorsports Chevrolet.
Nemechek wants to see it go to the finish without another caution. Each time there's a restart, anything could happen. A little spin of the tires, a little wiggle, and he could end up back in third or so, and then he would have his work cut out for him. But he's been pretty good on the restarts today. He's been able to get out front and lead majority of the laps. In fact, taking over on that second lap after the restart where the crash occurred in turn 1. As it's going to be Quinlan low side and Nemechek high side as they enter turn 4. The green once again coming back out 9 laps from the finish.
And Quinlan trying to stay right with Nemechek, but Nemechek powers his way into turns 1 and 2. Reassumes the lead. Quinlan second, Jeff Cannon third. Trey Craig to the inside of Jack Smith and Hunter Bays give him 4th spot. Trey Craig to 4th. He started in 28th position. A great run for the 17-year-old from Louisville, Kentucky.
And we got Nikki Saxon in the 56 getting up into the wall. She's going to come to a stop in turn number 4. Saxon's 56 will bring out the yellow. She has, for the second time this weekend, damaged the rear end of that 56 race car, pushed it all the way around to the left as she gets tore up with about 8 laps to go. Nikki Saxon in the 56 brings out the yellow.
92 laps completed, 8 laps to go here in the Chevrolet Performance 100 presented by Advanced Racing Suspension. 8 laps to the finish, Adam.
Bringing him to green, coming off of 4 once again, John Hunter Nemechek. Looks like a good start for him. He's going to have the lead at the line, and Hunter Bays a chance to take advantage of that outside lane opening up. And he's going to move to the high lane of Quinlan. Quinlan can close the door and will, coming off of 2.
And Trey Craig gets by Jack Smith on the initial start. Now the challenge, Jeff Cannon put himself back in the 4th position. The 17-year-old from Louisville, Kentucky, looking to get by Jeff Cannon, who's trying the high side of Hunter Bays. 3 wide, coming on the 4.
Craig having to go all the way to the bottom. He's inside now for the 4th position, so he does move back around. Jack Smith and Hunter Bays back up to 4th. Next on his list will be the 33 of Cannon. Pendleton trying to move up. Chad Pendleton in the 22, and Jack Smith right in front of him. Cody Evans getting racy again.
But up front, as it's been most of the afternoon, John Hunter Nemechek in the number 8 machine continues to show the way. Grant Quinlan second in the 28 machine. Jeff Cannon is third in the 33. Trey Craig back to 4th in the 15. Hunter Bays rounding out the top 5 in the 13. This time by 5 laps to go for the 17-year-old John Hunter Nemechek from Mooresville, North Carolina.
Evans running the low side of Pendleton as they cross the line. A little bit of contact on the front straightaway. Evans shown in 8th position, right behind Chad Pendleton on the scoring chart in 7th. Dalton Armstrong makes a run to the inside of another 4 car of Evans heading into the 3rd corner. Those 2 drivers have been close in proximity throughout the race.
4 laps to go now for John Hunter Nemechek in the number 8 machine. Continues to build that lead over 15-year-old Grant Quinlan in the number 28. Quinlan somewhat content to run in second spot. More importantly for him, a wonderful points day for the Harrison, Michigan drivers. He tries to chase down Dan Leake for the overall championship. 3 laps to go for Nemechek.
Really not going to have to worry about much slower traffic. May catch the 8 car of Mark Jacobs, who's logging laps right now. Jacobs currently shown on the scoring chart in 15th position. A number of laps off the pace, but he's about a half track ahead. Well, straight away ahead of the 8 car of Nemechek. 2 final laps to go.
2 laps remaining for John Hunter Nemechek, the number 18. He does have 2 event wins in the JEG CRA All Stars Tour. Both of those non-points races will go back to January 26th down at Watermelon Capital Speedway in Cordele, Georgia. He won Speedfest 2014. He takes the white flag. His second non-points win came in Milwaukee Mile on June the 8th during another non-points race during the Howie Liddell Memorial.
Glenemco Motorsports, El Faro, Guatemala, Chevrolet, number 8, enters turn 3 all by himself. He can almost coast from there. He comes off of turn 4 to Chief Starter Brian Duncan's checkered flag. And the winner of the Chevrolet Performance 100 is John Hunter Nemechek. Grant Quinlan second, Jeff Cannon third. Great 4th place run for Trey Craig, finishing 5th, Hunter Bays. 6th spot to Jack Smith. 7th, Chad Pendleton, finishing 8th. Is Cody Evans 9th, and final car on the lead lap is Dalton Armstrong. This marathon Chevrolet Performance 100 presented by Advanced Racing Suspension complete today. Again, not a lot of caution flags during the race, but when we had one, it was usually for a pretty drastic hit that destroyed the wall on the backstretch, the crossover gate, and then the problems with the wall in turn 1 is John Hunter Nemechek will burn one out on the front straightaway. Nemechek, all kinds of tire smoke after his victory. Happy for his first, as he finds himself in victory lane at Lucas Oil Raceway. His 3rd victory of the season with the JEG CRA All Stars Tour. Let's head trackside to Matt Preer.
Thank you very much, Adam. We mentioned he's won 2 non-points races this year, the JEG CRA All Stars Tour. Watermelon Capital Speedway on January 26th. Then at the famed Milwaukee Mile, West Allis, Wisconsin on June the 8th. His 3rd victory this season, 1st win in a points race for the JEG CRA All Stars Tour. Part-time campaigner in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Mooresville, North Carolina. The Nemco Motorsports machine, young man, 17 years old, behind the wheel, the number 8.